This was a download that came through this morning and it was really strong. So I just went with it and wrote down all the notes. So yeah, what a concert's doing to our population and especially our youth. I just received this really strong vision this morning. Think about it. How they used wartime tactics on us at the protest in Wellington, New Zealand, where they played certain songs for mind control. What have they done to use all our lifetime now? They've played songs with a frequency being pumped out to us that we have enjoyed. We've taken it in because they've made it fun with song, dance, celebrities, music, sound, and wealth. Well, how better to put out a visual video that will stimulate us even more with that song playing and have a really sexy person's singing it, so it's like, wow, I want to be like them, and I love their outfit, and I love just what they've got, and yeah, just really stimulating you. And make it repetitive, that you will continue with the mantra, which we know is their chorus. Then let's bring in drugs to heighten us even more, so it goes in deeper into our subconscious mind as we relax ourselves with drugs and alcohol. From there, let's take it even further. Another heightened state is the sexual pleasure. As if the dominant sexual partner can program that person that's submissive while they're in a heightened state. Can you see what I'm saying and what's happening? So let's turn this around. Let's really turn up the heat and get into celebrating your birthdays. But let's show people you can't celebrate certain milestones without throwing grand parties for your 16th, your 21st, your 30th. And what's sad, it's becoming very in is for the children's first birthday, and it goes on and on and on and on. But it's mainly, yeah, the older I'm talking of. Let's create celebrities that people worship and you want a life just like them. Kardashians is one. How many of the youth follow them or have? So let's create a bigger TV screen and place people in a cinema and stimulate them with further programming by literally blasting the shit out of them with the sound that will literally vibrate every ounce of their being with negative frequencies, with background music, which they are totally unaware of, as they will create it in the suspense music. Literally, people will be oblivious to what they're doing to them. Next, to mention all stimuli through the exceptionally large visual programming through the screen that they've visually seen right in front of them. The bigger the screen, and look at the technology. Imagine what they're doing with the visuals on the screens then. And hey, let's change it up one more. Let's do relax them and put them in lazy boys as well. But wait, let's bring the alcohol. Let them pay to have that. Because, hey, quality is when you pay more. That's totally programmed into us. So take a bloody good long look about it all. What films that you have come out of and have known they have subliminally got programming that has worked on you. I know myself personally, the last 2 movies that I went to see, because I wanted to experience, I wanted to, see what this was like. And holy moly, Tenet was one.
We all believe we'd run into the burning building. But until we feel that heat, we can never know. You do. You chose to die instead of giving up your colleagues. That test you passed? Not everybody does. Welcome to the afterlife.
What would I do? I need some idea of the threat we face.
As I understand it, we're trying to prevent World War III.
Nuclear holocaust.
No. Something worse.
All I have for you is a word. Tenet. It'll open the right doors, some of the wrong ones too.
You have to start looking at the world in a new way.
Don't try to understand it. Feel it.
What'll happen here?
Hasn't happened yet.
And when I came out of that movie, I could not believe how I was programmed up to become like one of the main characters in that movie. I literally, when I went into the car parking building, I was like a special agent, and I even got in my car and I drove like a special agent, and I could feel the vibration resonating in my body. It was so bizarre, the feeling. And I went off and had a coffee with a girlfriend that also watched it, and we were both commenting on how we were feeling, and I rang some other friends that had seen it as well. Exactly the same feeling. Now, what's that saying? Now, the other one was Avatar. Honestly, I could not get over what that one was doing to me as well. And yeah, I came out really angry and fired up, and yet I don't go in that way. That's fascinating. And I have done a video on that one, but at the right time, I will put that up here. Now let's look at the huge concerts where our favorite bands and singers tour the world singing that catchy music that we are programmed, and we automatically know how to sing it. Look what all the money buys for all the special lighting they set up with the strobe lights that are constantly flashing at us. What's it doing back here? Take a look at the shape of the arenas. Now, how do you control a crowd? You circle around them. You contain them in a space. Then you can use frequencies behind the music and encourage the rebel side of them by preventing them from bringing alcohol in the grounds. Well, straight away, the younger generation are going to create parties and catch-ups to pre-drinks to enjoy the show even more. So now they're in that frequency state that they need them to be in. How perfect. How perfect. If you think about it. Okay, let's have another look. Let's do the search for the drugs to prevent it, for them to bring it in. But they do that at the gate and they check your bag, but they don't scan it. But yet, you go through to an airport and you stand in your lines and all they're doing is they have the sniffer dog for the drugs. So while you're patiently standing in line at the airport, the dog goes through, checks your luggage, and they get rewarded when they find the drugs. And yeah, once in a while, the dog finds something and that person gets escorted to another area. But come on, we've got thousands all at once going through to these concerts and we don't have sniffer dogs that can, boom, you get ushered aside and yeah, they find the drugs straight away. Where is the presence of that? I would like to know that. That to me, that's so profound. Because they know it's prevalent in a concert. You know, there's a big haze constantly over the concert goers. Just makes sense to me that I want to ask that question. Why don't they do that? Okay, now, if everybody's in this arena, so here in New Zealand, Wellington, we call it the Cake Tin. It's a stadium and it's a big circle. It's all the layers. Now, to me, that is going back into the lion's cage. So the elites sit at the top. And this is where we have the corporate box. Now I found that fascinating. Why have they called it the corporate boxes for the corporations? You have to pay big money to be up there, to have one of them. Again, fascinating. Because when you are up there in those boxes, the lights are actually deflected down on the crowd. And being in a circular space, it echoes up. But it carries a frequency. But
There's effects of music.
Music is frequency programming. Music is frequency. What frequency are you being fed? If I play with those frequencies, right, I can target certain parts of the mind. If I want you to astral project, or if I want you to go to sleep, or if I want you to go into a meditative state, I can make my music do that.
Dangerous effects of music.
Being blasted at the crowd above them and down. So think about the major lights and the music and the programming. Get started with that music. It's a warm-up. And people are in that mode. They're listening to the warm-up, pre-bands prior. And then all of a sudden, boom, all the lightning, the lights and everything. But I cannot get over how many people that are awake, that go to the concerts and cannot get over the symbols and what they're projecting out through, the lighting and the visuals behind the singers. The reason I'm bringing this up as I had stopped doing concerts years ago, and I never understood why. Yet everyone around me go and look at me weird. Why don't I go? I could never answer the question. And it was just the other day with my friends. We were talking about gone to this concert, gone to that concert, and they've already booked for the next concerts. And they said, don't you like a certain singer? And I said, yeah, I do. But yeah, I am really just not feeling going into a concert. I don't understand. And bingo, here came the download. Would you believe my last one was AC/DC? And out of nowhere, from sitting in the rain, a beautiful angel or a friend messaged me to see if I was at the concert, as she had tickets for the corporate box, and she rescued us out of the rain because it was pouring down. At the time, how cool was that? But looking back at it now, the atmosphere was huge. The lights, when you are down in the pit, we called it the pit. It's called the pit. Okay, what is it? In itself. When you're up in the corporate boxes, you don't have that same sense of what it's like when you're in the pit. All your senses, it's completely different. The lights don't shine on you. The sound and the senses are all so different. What I'm getting guided to say right now is what I've personally witnessed as friends and family that have gone to all sorts of concerts, come away buzzing with adrenaline, etc. But I'm getting shown that they will go through something on another level, that emotionally they will have to go through. Look, they showed you the concert overseas, I think it was last year, for the younger generation. I can't remember what one it was because it's not my type of music. But they were feeding shit knows what out of those speakers, and concert goers were dropping down. Some died at the concert. Mainstream media covered it all up, and yet it's now forgotten about. But back in our mind, we do recall seeing it, and what they put on the mainstream was completely different to what the live videos that were actually going around. So if that was one massive concert, then what are they putting through the rest of the concerts? Just makes sense when you've been out of this for a while now. For myself, have you ever thought why some of the concerts have been cancelled? They have lured you in like a drug from the programming, and bingo, once you're in those, they can do anything to you. And not to mention, you are drinking their alcohol from their tanks. God knows what's in it. And if you are not stimulated enough, let's share their happy backy smoke upon the crowd. That it's a haze, we all know that. And breathe in that heightened drug while dancing and singing to that programmed beat. It all makes so much sense now. It's just yesterday in Auckland, New Zealand, a protest got totally out of control over the transgender. So Black Lives Matter divided the world, and it has now faded but created a division. So why not bring the youth in to override the awakened ones with a transgender issue that they are constantly pumping. Now, how did they get so many youths to stand so strong out of nowhere? Create concerts just for them and program them before the protest. We had one in Wellington and I watched some loved ones go through. Normally it's a full-on day program right through the day to the evening and the clubbing afterwards. And the individuals that I spoke to didn't last long in there. And I asked, oh my gosh, I'm really quite taken back. You came home so early. Why? What happened? Well, there was just something about the music. There was just something wrong. Now, bingo, listen to that. There are thousands that came to that. There was also, I think there was some form of sport. There was the concert. And there was 2 cruise liners that came into Wellington because I happened to go through Wellington and I could not get over. There were people everywhere. It's a perfect strategy as I've witnessed loved ones that went. And afterwards, they became distant and went through a shutdown experience till they were overcome by so much love from the family and neutralized this from them, and it wore off. So I witnessed it firsthand and it makes perfect sense now. Now that I look at the debates that went live stream over the weekend, whereas though the youth were so programmed with their conviction that there was no opposing opinion. If you tried to get them to see reason, they become out of control. It was like witnessing a controlled mind. You take them off that subject and they were different, but they were totally stuck on the program that was playing out. Now this is scary, as what else are they going to program in the next lot of concerts as the masses go there for the fix? Oh wait, there is another one that came through. They leave the concert and then they go off to the bars. But wait, the bars play that music again, which reinforces it even more. Then they come home and then they download it into their favorites on Spotify and they use their earpods and blast themselves to a level of that sound again with those frequencies that takes us back to the heightened state once more. You see where I'm coming from? We enjoy it so much. We sing it with our babies in the car, in the home, and the children start reciting those same words and they have no idea what they're singing. But yet their memory, they are recalling it just like that over an adult. This is what I'm finding fascinating because they are like a sponge. They are absorbing that music and they're taking it in. So how do young children know the words to so many songs as it's a repetitive programming, as they are a free vessel for recalling what they hear as they become what they sing? Can you now see the sequence of it all? Time to get back into nature and unfuck ourselves from the programming that we have innocently taken on board. How many people do you know that are struggling in their youth? I know of so many, and it's so sad that I'm spending so much time with them, and you can feel there's so much programming, but it is anxiety, it's fear, and they've lost their confidence. But you give them a subject to jump on, boy, they find strength, they become confident, and they will stand. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, take them away from that. They go quiet. They go back in to this mold that was there. So it's a bit of food for thought. So I know myself, I'm really careful on what I listen to now. And, you know, even if I naturally will hear a tune and I'll start singing, but then it's like, whoa, wow, listen to that word. Look at that phrase. And it's incredible, especially the rapping of the music and what they're coming out with. And yeah, whenever I hear it, I'll go, excuse me, did you not hear what they just said? And I create a more of awareness of what is getting said. So yeah, take this video if you resonate to it, if you don't. But I found it fascinating that it was a really strong message that I had to do this video. So thank you for listening. Like, share, hit the notification button so you know when I'm coming back on. And wow, you're doing the most amazing job. Keep going, and feel and listen to the vibration of your heart, because your heart is your guidance from your soul that is intuitively connecting to your future self. So have a fabulous day. Love you. Bye.